I watched this movie maybe yesterday with my family, and so I was calling my sister and she was like, you should do a review on this movie, because some parts of the movie I really didn't like. I didn't like it because there were some parts that they could have did better, and there were some parts that they should have shown more of. So this movie came out on my anniversary, so I feel like this was a good time to do the movie review. So this is my uncut version of this movie review. My first time seeing it, that review, and also my second time seeing it, how my review changed.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take.
King Richard follows the life of the Williams sisters, but hence the movie is called King Richard. So basically it's really about him, even though like they're talking about him being on them about tennis. Really it's a look into their father. It's good to hear his background and him growing up with the clan and everything like that. I feel like they should have talked more in depth on that situation, but I also like how he paved the way for his girls. Even though I thought he was a little money hungry, he paved the way for them because of the fact tennis was not an African-American sport, and he made sure that they did the best at that. And so with that, it comes a lot of work that they had to put in. So I know that that was hard for them in that day and time, considering that it was a white sport. So I'm glad that he decided to let them train more, even though he didn't have the resources to give them the proper training. He made sure that they had enough that they learned. I know that when they became famous, that so many people felt like bad because they had given them that chance. Like there were so many people that could have been known for being the first coaches of Serena Williams and Venus Williams, but they didn't take that chance. But what I didn't like about King Richard, or Richard Williams, is that he said that he wanted 2 more kids because he only made $40,000 a year and somebody made $40,000 in 4 days in tennis. And I feel like that is not a reason to have children. And if I was his wife, I would have told him like, no. Richard Williams sounded money hungry and he sounded selfish. Like, I don't know. This is how I felt in the beginning, and some parts of me still feel that way. But when I first watched it with my family, I felt like he was selfish and money hungry, and that's all he cared about was himself. It wasn't about the girls at all to me. It was all about him making more money. But what really got me is he wanted respect for his girls. He wanted their proper respect and honor in his girls. And that part, as a mother, I feel like it really resonated with me, because even though he's a father and I'm a mother, I feel like we all just want the best for our children. I feel like in that sense, he might have approached it in the wrong way, but his goal was for them to be the best. I felt like he was hard on the girls because he knew that they could be more than just Venus and Serena, but they could be Venus Williams and Serena Williams, what we see today. And I feel like he believed in them so much to the point that he didn't care what people thought of him. He just wanted, like in the beginning, I felt, yeah, he was selfish, but I feel like as time went on, he like started to see that they could be more than just normal kids. Like they could honestly be something great. So that's why he decided to be on them so much. Like even though the lady who called in on him saying he was a bad dad and all that stuff, I feel like he continued to, like I don't feel like they would have been the Venus and Serena Williams we see today, because they would have had that drive to be the best. So even though his approach in parenting was not what I would have did, he still made it. I love when he said that he fought for his daughters and that he fought for them because his father did not fight. I'm glad to show this part of him saying that his father left him, so he didn't want to leave his girls. But what we didn't get from this really, and I really wish they would have shined light on, he may have didn't leave Venus and Serena, but he did have children before them that he did leave. So he might have been there for Venus and Serena, but he was not there for the children that he made before them. So in that sense, I can't respect him, because even though he was a great dad, and people may say that it's all about the woman, but there's no way, as me as a mother, if I was a father, that no woman would be able to tell me that I can't see my child. I would have made it that way. And he should be able, man enough, before he got sick and stuff, he should have been man enough to say to his daughter, well honey, I wasn't there for you when you were a child, but now I want to be, instead of just letting it go. Because even though they're grown now, they still remember that. And for that, and he's just wrong for that in that sense. I'm sorry to break it to him, but he's wrong in that sense. I find it crazy when they had said Daddy got beat up again, because that means it was like this happened, and I love that he believed in them so much to the point where he felt like when he said to his wife, Venus and Serena gonna shake up the world. As a parent, like, we are supposed to think our children are the best, but me personally, I know my son's gonna be something good. I don't care what nobody say, nobody gonna change that, because I'm his mother. I'm gonna make sure he's something good. So I feel like that's how Richard felt in that sense. Like, he didn't care about anything else. He was gonna make sure that his child was the best. And as a parent, that is our job. So I don't fault him in that. I don't fault him in pushing them, making sure that everything into existence with his children. And even though he said be humble, he let them know that they were the greatest. Like, even though he said carry yourself with every game being humble, he still let them know that they were the greatest. And in that sense, he did right as a parent. Even though he took so many abusive things in this movie, he stuck to the plan. There was nothing that changed about the plan. He made sure the plan from A, B, C, D, that it came together regardless. So much abuse in this movie, but he stuck to the plan. Like, he always stuck to the plan. And in that sense, I'm like, he did good, because me personally, all that abuse was like, oh my God, like, is he not gonna fight back? I was saying that the whole movie, both times I watched. God really showed us blessings in disguise, because Richard could have killed that man and he could have been in jail, and not even, we could have no Serena Williams or Venus Williams right now. And God let the blood of that man be on someone else, and that's what people don't think that far into the movies and stuff like that. And that's what I really got from it, because if he had killed that man, who knows what would have happened. But what I find a flaw in the movie is that they should have, like, even if it didn't happen in real life, they should have maybe, like, when he noticed that the man was shot, put the gun away, because they could have came out and thought that he killed the man, and then boom, he in jail or dead. The boys could have killed him or something. It could have been anything. So that part, it was a flaw in the movie. And I love the part of when Venus and Serena met Venus's coach for the first time. And even though they didn't know at that point that they were meeting greats, it was a good thing to see young greats meet older greats. Even though they knew who the coach and everyone was, they didn't know who they were. And so now, even though back then they weren't seeing Serena and Venus Williams, now they're saying her name. So I feel like that was a good part of the movie, because y'all meeting young greats out here. So I feel like even though they weren't the greats back then, they're the greats now. So it's a good thing to see them when they first. Richard just made it always feel like it was a Richard show. Like, he always made everything about Richard. And then that's like when they were at the house, I'm thinking in my head, like, you saying it wouldn't be without you. This man, you living in his house, so at the point, like, it wouldn't be nothing without him. So I'm like, if I was a coach, I would say something to Richard, like, bruh, calm down. So in reality, Richard should have just stepped down and just let them do their job. Even though, like, it came out good, Venus and Serena Williams, yeah, great. But I feel like they could have been even better if he would have just shut up. Like, he was annoying me the whole time, just like, shut up. I understand why Richard acted the way he acted, because I don't want my child to be known as being great for being black, but I want them to be known as being great because they're the best. And I know why he acted that way, because he didn't want them to look at them as little black girls. So in that sense, I'm like, yeah, he might have did it a little extreme, but he did what he was supposed to do. I feel like he should have talked to his wife. He should have made that decision without his wife, because that's something that they both should have talked about. Richard he wanted everything to be the Richard show. So he let everything he made decisions by himself. And then for that, I didn't. It was funny when he told the man, don't put on your seatbelt. You don't have to put on that seatbelt. Because I'm like, dude, you crazy for that. But that part was funny. Even though Serena felt like she was in the shadow, Venus always made sure that Serena felt like she was important also. So I love that sisterly bond that they had. Richard was a serial cheat. Like, he just often just cheated a lot. Like, I heard in the movie it said he had like 15, 19 kids. And I don't feel like she stayed because she was okay with the cheating. I feel like she stayed because she believed in her kids. And I feel like she just wanted to make sure that they did their best. And it wasn't about it. She just waited until they did their best and dipped out on them. So I feel like that's what she was thinking at that moment. It wasn't about him, it was about once Richard was quiet, and I'm glad that he said, this is not for me, this is for Venus this time, because it was her life. And I'm glad that she noticed that it wasn't a good deal, because even I could tell it wasn't a good deal. Like it could have been anything that if she signed that she could have sold away her whole entire career. So I'm glad she did it. And when Richard did like this, I knew that he was telling her, like, you got the weight of the world on your shoulders right now. And I feel like that made her push, because she was like, I gotta do this for all the little girls that are coming after me. So I'm glad that he said, because it really brought out the beast. Richard just didn't believe in himself, so he made it like everybody else didn't believe in him. His wife really did believe in him. And she took a lot just to, it's crazy, because when that boy said, it's boo, I was like, me and my fiance both looked at each other like, what? But he was like, white boy, okay? And I'm like, looking like, in reality, if I was white and somebody called me white boy, I'd be like, what the? Where are we at? Like, that was like the ghetto man that didn't give him that chance in the beginning, that he came back and said, like, that they were really good because, he just missed out on two greats. Like, he could have made history of being their coach, but instead he did it. So like, I'm glad that he came back into the story plot, because that was a vital thing. I still don't feel like it was about Venus and Serena. I feel like it was really the Richard just wanted more money. And like I said in the beginning, he wanted his wife to have more children just so he could get more money. It wasn't really about them being legends. I just feel like he wanted more money. So it just so happened that they were the greatest. So I don't feel like Richard did it for the right. Her mother was a strong woman, even though Serena was kept back. Her mother made sure that she was also the greatest. She taught her, even though Serena was starting to give up, I could tell she was starting to give up, but her mother made sure she didn't. Her mama was a great mama, because I love when she said, go get my girls. Like, she wasn't playing, like, go get my girls. And that just shows like a mother. I'm glad they played who they played, because Venus was nervous, but even though she was nervous, she wanted them to know that she was the great. And even though that man was like, maybe she should step up, I feel like in Venus's head, that made her go off, because she was like, you're not about to play me up in here. Like, I feel like that's really what went through her head when he said that. So even though I don't like that back then people would treat them like that, I feel like if they didn't, Venus wouldn't have went off the way she did. So I feel like it gave her more motivation to do what she wanted. But I also got from it that it showed that people would do anything to win. Like, that man lying, like, it went out, but it didn't even go out. But even then, he thought Venus wasn't gonna win, but even then she let him know that she was gonna still be the greatest, regardless if he cheated her out of a win. She was gonna still. What I didn't like though is when they were watching Cinderella and the movie ended, but they didn't change it to nighttime. Like, honestly, most of the time when you watch the movies, it be light outside, and then it turned dark. It didn't seem real in that sense. They should have did better with that scene. Even though like people don't know this stuff like that, I feel like they should really put a lot into that part. The parent is going to be hard on their child. I didn't like his tactics, but the fact of it is you got to make sure your children see the best in themselves, and I feel like that's really what he wanted, but he just did it the wrong way. People don't realize that even us parents, we don't get a guidebook, and I feel like her mom just wanted the best. So when she went over to that lady's house, she was just like, don't make me come back over here again. People don't play about their kids, so I feel like that lady should have stayed in her place, because they just wanted the best for their children. So she shouldn't have she shouldn't have called the police on them or nothing like that, because that was a dumb part on her, because her mama Serena just wanted to be her own name. Like, I know she felt like a legend when her mom said Serena Williams, because I even feel like, oh, she already know her daughter a legend. But I feel like she didn't want to be in Venus's shadow. She just wanted to be her own. So I think when her dad said, I know you was gonna be the greatest, I think she felt like finally is me and not always Venus, because I know she loved her sister, but she wanted her own name also. And so when her dad said that, I know she felt like she was on. She played against what was said to be the greatest, so I feel like it was good that he told her, like, you had her shook. She had that girl shaking in her boots, like, to the point where she stayed in the bathroom because she wanted to make sure that she won. So I feel like even though Venus didn't win that day, she really won because she had her intimidated. Good to hear so many words of encouragement, because you can tell that she really needed that, and she especially needed it from her dad, because I feel like the girls were probably daddy's girls, so I feel like it meant a lot to hear her dad say that. He was just so glad they got Miss Ellis to play in this role, because seeing her in the Carolina, the abducted Carlina White story, and seeing her in this, I think this was, because it used to be the Carolina White story that was my favorite, but now it's this story, because I feel like she, even though she played good in that story, she really played her role in this one, and she was like, she made me feel like she was really their mama the way she played her role. So I feel like they chose the right person to be their mom. It's crazy to me that Venus was once the greatest at a point in time, because I always thought Serena was the greatest, because you always hear Serena's name. Like, I didn't even really know too much about Venus at first, and I always thought they were twins. To know that they are not is crazy to me. But I'm glad that Venus showed that she wanted Serena to be the greatest. But also, I'm glad that Serena let it be known that she wanted to be at the front, that she wanted to be but shout out to the mamas for making the making sure they blessings made something, because shout out to her, because she stuck by her kids, and that was like, I just felt so connected to her in that way. I think in the end his goal was just to make sure they were the greatest. Like, in the beginning I didn't feel like that, but I feel like he really just wanted to make sure they were the greatest. He just approached it wrong. Like I've said a million times, he just approached it at the wrong way. I love when he said you should be proud of yourself, because you could tell like Venus was cheated, because the girl saw her as a threat. And if she hadn't gone to that restroom, Venus would have won. And I know that because I feel like Venus got shook a little bit, because when she was gone for so long, she was like, I don't know if I can win this, maybe like that, because I feel like Venus would have won. She would beat her, because Venus' energy was just so strong. I don't know why they didn't show his first wife. Like, they should have shown her in this story, because even though it's about the Williams sisters, it's really about their father himself. So I feel like they should have showed all the nitty-gritties, not just the good. And they should have also talked about how he's filing for bankruptcy because of his late wife. Like, they should have said certain things, even though it's no one's business. But if you're gonna make a bio, tell the truth, tell all. I feel like Richard had a lot of times to be like father of the year, but him telling his daughter, all I can give you is loan, is wrong in a sense, because you've been gone all these years and all you can give this girl is a loan. Like, I feel like he should have approached it differently, because now these kids ain't had no daddy, and you not even trying to be daddy now that they're grown. So like, I feel like he made it like it was his money, but in reality, like, even though he helped Venus and Serena get there, it's Venus and Serena's money. So if you're gonna be all big about their money, you should at least help out your other kids too, because you do owe them that. Like, you left these kids and left them with a mother just for her to take care of them. So I feel like he owed them. And then the fact that they were gone for three years and to come back so strong, I feel like Venus really did better than she even thought, because you've been gone all this time and you playing head to head with this girl. So in that sense, like, I feel like Venus should have been proud of herself to know that she did amazing, she did her best, and that's what. And I wonder, like, why did he really like leave his wife, first wife? Is it because like they were young, and is it something that we don't know? Because considering that his daughter Sabrina was young, who knows what really happened between her mom and him, because it could have been anything. And it could be something on the mom's part that we don't even know. So I feel like in that sense, like, he should sit down with his daughter and actually explain everything to her of what he did good in tennis if he had stayed, considering the energy he put in Serena and Venus. With he had put the same energy in them, would they have been the tennis players we know today? We don't know. We have to realize that one woman may be good for a man rather than another woman, because even though he was coaching, doing all this stuff, she had two jobs also. She was making sure that the family stayed afloat. So he wouldn't have been, like, they couldn't have been nothing without their mother also, because she made sure that they also had it, even though she was doing the working and stuff. Like, she made sure their dreams still came. I do also wonder, like, did Sabrina's and mom ever say, like, you can't have my children around your wife? Because in that sense, that could have caused a lot of conflict. Like, who knows what really went on between King Richard and Sabrina's mom? And who's to say, like, he was young when he had the first five? Who's to say that he wasn't mature yet, and so he didn't know how to be a father? And when he got with Serena's mom, he knew how to be more like a man, because Serena's mom knew she knew her worth and she wasn't taking less than that. So I feel like it all depends on which woman you're with, because that does change a lot with being like a certain person, because if you got a strong woman, it makes you want to be strong. Will's interview saying that they as a punishment he would make them not play tennis, because I know in a sense they probably was like they wanted to do it for themselves now, because him making them not play tennis really like drove them, like they really was wanting to do it because they couldn't do it. So I feel like they finally did it for themselves and not for their dad. And I feel like that's when they realized that tennis was for them. They don't know who would have been a better fit to play King Richard than Will, because Will is like the best actor in the world to me. So I feel like they chose the perfect person to play Richard, because I don't think nobody could have played Richard better than Will. Because when I got into that movie, I seriously forgot Will was even the person playing, because he got into the character so deep. Thank y'all for watching this video. My favorite part was when I heard Beyonce's song in the back, because if y'all remember the Lemonade album, when Serena was in that video, and I kind of figured that Beyonce would be the song being played because of remembering how close they were in that video.